What's up, YouTube? Another Dodge Caravan video to add to the playlist. You can see I've already got my wheel ramps. You can go with a jack, but I really wanted to avoid taking the tire off to do this. So we are venturing into the Serpentine belt today. And mine has made noise for the better part of 2 years off and on. We've got a trip coming up. We finally did the thermostat, brand new tires, and why take the chance? So here you can see what I picked this up for. Advanced Auto Parts. Always buy stuff online. You're gonna get it cheaper. This is my 2012 3.6. A lot of the Dodge engines are very similar. So what we have, we're working on the same side as the airbox. And right there you can see the thermostat, which I recently replaced. Got a little bit of residual antifreeze. That really made this thing start screaming. So I've had to tighten these bolts up a few times and clean them up, but we're gonna try to make sure that's all dry. Before we put on the new belt, we're gonna take a peek underneath the here real quick. And what we're gonna take off is this shield. There's a couple of 10mm bolts and just a few little clip-on anchors. You can see the antifreeze dripping. All right, got our 2 bolts out of the way. Anchor number 1 there in the middle, anchor number 2 down here. Just be aware that that second anchor that comes out is a little tricky to get a hold of. I managed to wiggle it free without actually breaking it. So what we're gonna do is grab my breaker bar. That actually does not look like it's going to fit a 1/2 inch. Let's see, we've got our standard wrench here. To get a small extension. All right, so I've got an adapter to go down a size, but that is what you're gonna do. I'll get my adapter to bump me out a little bit and grab the longer ratchet, but that's where we're gonna release the tension here in a second. Starting with the tensioner, we're going up and around, pulley in the back, up over top of that pulley, continues to run over and goes around your alternator. That will come down, wraps around the AC compressor clutch, up the other side. You're going over and around the top of the water pump. Here on the main drive, you're going around the bottom. There you go, water pump. Down and around again, back up to the pulley. All right, so gonna be a little awkward here for a second, but we're gonna see what we can do. I may need another extension. Actually, I've probably done myself more harm than good here. Let's see. That's in there pretty well flush, but I cannot hold it still. So maybe you don't get to see this part. Now the way this releases that tension, it was much easier to try to pull this off the large wheel instead of trying to work towards the back. So once that's there, the rest should kind of come off without much effort. Now I've already compared the length and they do match up. Pretty important there. But I will show you some of the differences. Most noticeable was that this, being the new Dayco from Advance, you can see where this was seemingly joined together. You don't see that from the inner side of the belt, but to go around the Mopar, it was pretty seamless. And if we compare the old on the right to the new on the left, there is quite a difference between the way these two are put together. But the grooves on the Mopar are very clean, very deep. The grooves here are covered in, sort of a felt, at least the way it feels. And those grooves, I guess, will grip nice and tight, not being so deep and wide on the original. So let's start to feed this thing back in there. Now there was no way I could show you this process without an extra set of hands. But I'm trying to use the camera and the flashlight to get a real idea of whether or not I've got everything seated on these pulleys the right way. So far, it looks all right. Without taking tension off, you're really not going to get anything to move anywhere at this point anyhow. All right, up, over, over, around. That doesn't look right. That one is seated just a little off. It's close. And if you weren't stopping to take the extra second, you wouldn't have known, and you'd end up destroying a belt, more than likely. All right, so with that, I won't bore you as I try to adjust that. But what you ultimately need to know is the easy way to put this back on. You're gonna awkwardly take all the tension off of this that you're able to, loop it around everything all the way except for your water pump. This cap cover, the dome, that's going to let you easily slide that belt over and around where you really can't do it on the other pulleys without the assistance of a screwdriver or some sort of leverage. And I really don't want to put that much more tension on a brand new belt. So that's what you want to do. All right, so thanks for watching. Check out some of the other stuff going on with this van because honestly, I hate the thing.